Well, it's welcome to this Easter edition of Gardener's World. I am Bob Doubles, and because I couldn't get a crew from the BBC today, I've got my friend Sally who's going to be holding the camera for me, and we're at the RHS Gardens in Bolton. So I'm going to talk today about potatoes, and this is one of my pet hobbies. That traditionally we always plant potatoes this particular weekend, and it stems from about 100 years ago when this was the very first day off since Christmas that the labourers used to have to plant their own potatoes in the ground. So I'm going to follow that historical session, and I'm going to be planting some potatoes. But first of all, what I want to talk about are the three varieties that I've got here today. And these varieties, I'll pick one up for you just to show you what they are. Now, they've been chitting all around the house. They've been chitting on every window ledge, and I better spell that for you. That's spelt C-H-I-T-T-I-N-G, for those who didn't know. And each potato has a few shoots coming out of it, and that's what chitting is called. Now, this particular variety, this is a major variety, and this is called Turramurra Surprise. Now, Turramurra Surprise are a beautiful potato, and they produce a superlative yield, although a 2-kilogram bag is going to set you back a tenner. So that's a really lovely potato, and I've got a set of those I'm going to plant later. My next set of potatoes I've got here, these are called Awful Bob Treble Minor. And I grow this variety as they have a really, not because of the crop they produce, but they have a very striking leaf formation when they're growing, so they're just really nice to see. So that's Awful Treble Bob. And then my third variety of potato, which is a really lovely potato, this is an original variety, and it's called Cambridge Treble Place, which produces a really major crop. Now, they're all a delight to grow, and they make a change from the usual varieties of things like King Edward's and Maris Piper. So what we're going to do today, I'm just going to do a demonstration of planting out one of these potato varieties for you. Some people say it's false to plant potatoes at this time of year because they're usually worried about the frosts. But with this sort of changing climate nowadays, I don't think there's any need to worry too much about it. But first of all, before I plant these particular potatoes, let me talk to you about the composition of the soil. Now, the composition of the soil, you need quite a loamy soil, and I tend to mix a lot of horse manure with my soil, and so the soil is really very loamy, but it's a beautiful composition and usually rings true when it comes to growing the potatoes. So first of all, what we've got to do, we've got to make places for each of the potatoes. So all we do is we're going to, I'll turn this side so you can see the camera, we're going to dig a hole in the ground just here, and we need to dig a hole about 9 centimetres deep for each potato to go in. Now, what I can suggest to you really is that you don't dodge around. You dig in rows, go in and go out along the row, and then you just catch hold of your potato and you lower them into the hole like so. And I suggest you plant them in singles. That's the best way. And then once you've planted them in singles, you'll then cover them over like so. And that is it really. You've just got to water them very thoroughly before you leave them, and then really it's very quick work. I'm going to now, we've just moved over to the other part of the garden, and I'm just going to dig up the first of my Easter plants that I planted out in February, although rather early this year, mind you, but I mean down south where these plants are normally grown, especially around Hastings, stay in the ground for another few weeks. First of all though, this is the plant in question that I've put in, and first of all you've got to remove the tail end with all the leading shoots, and one whole pull will do. If you just pull it up out of the way, so that gets rid of the tail end and the leading shoots, and your plant is just there basically. So all you've got to do then is you've got to raise up the plant. It's very delicate, so it's really quite slow work, as they are so delicate. Some folks like them to lie on the ground to dry out, but I prefer to dig them up because these should be fairly dry. We've had not much rain lately, so hopefully these should be all right. So let's dig it up and see what we've got. Here we go, down to the ground. This is very, very careful. You've just got to be careful when you lift it out of the ground. Let's see now, here we go, and where is it? I hope it's here. Oh, here it is. Here it is, look. Now, wow, what a whopper. Now that's fantastic, that really looks good. I'll just brush off the soil. That is really quite a fine plant for that. Now look, you can actually see the outer skin. The outer skin is you can just peel. You can peel it off. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll peel off a quarter, so you can just see, and we'll just have a look inside when we've peeled off a quarter. Well, there we go. Well, fantastic, isn't that? Now, isn't that fantastic? That really is good. Now, these don't actually need cooking. All you need to do is just break off the pieces. But there are many varieties of these, and you can buy and get all sorts of varieties. Now, these are my 3 favourite varieties, and all you have to do with them, it's fairly easy to plant, and as I say, 8 weeks and they come up. If you just break off the seeds, they sort of snap quite easily, and then you must plant each one in the ground just on its end. If you just plant it and put it in the ground in a line on its end, believe you me, by Easter Day you'll have a fantastic crop like that. Now, if you want a plain variety, just water it, that's not a problem. But if you want a milk variety, if you add a bit of milk to the water during the process of growing it, you'll find they'll come up as a milk variety instead. They really are lovely. But anyway, this is a plain variety. So there you have it. This is what I'm going to possibly serve up on Easter Day. And can I, on behalf of Sally and myself, wish you all a very happy Easter.